Over the past year and a half, I've been traveling full-time as a digital nomad. I've lived in Mexico, Colombia, London, Istanbul, Turkey, and right now I'm actually in Budapest, Hungary, which is an amazing, beautiful city. And so what I want to talk about in this video is why I decided to leave America to live full-time as a digital nomad, and also why maybe you should too if that's where you live. So the first reason I would say is it's not really the best place to live in the world. A lot of people in America will say, why would you ever want to leave America? This is the best place to live in the world. However, most of those people never travel. And so it's like, what are you basing that information on? What makes you say that this is the best place in the world to live? Like, what are you basing that on? A lot of people think, oh, well, it's the home of the free, right? We have so much freedom, but it's like, freedom to do what? Most people drive to work, go to work, come back, maybe go out to eat on the weekends, and go shopping. It's like, do you know how many countries and cities in the world that you can do that? People say, oh, freedom, 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 freedom. But it's like, what are you looking for the freedom to do? So first reason I have that I left is to explore these other cities. And let's even imagine that it is, the best place in the world. Is like, so I can't go see number 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or none of these other places. And so to me, I wanted to go out and actually see these places for myself. However, here's one thing that I will say. I do think that America is one of the best places to be born because the US passport is so powerful. We can almost travel wherever we want in the world. You have a lot of business opportunities. There's just a lot of opportunities. However, I think once you make your money, it's better to go live in other places. And that brings me to my reason number 2. And that's because your money goes a lot farther. When I was living in America, in Orlando, now granted, there's a lot of different cities in America, but in general, it's really, really expensive to find a place to live. We were paying like $2,500 per month to live in a 2-bedroom in downtown Orlando. And outside of that, it's like $2,000, $1,800, right? When we were living in Medellin, we had a 3-bedroom for like $1,000 a month. Food is a lot cheaper. You're not paying $5, $10 for just a latte. You can get coffee for like $1. There's like the dollar goes a lot farther in a lot of countries. And so people think in America, in order to live good, you have to be rich. You have to make 6 figures a year. You have to be a millionaire, when in fact, you could take maybe $20,000 a year, $30,000 a year, and you can go to countries in South America, Latin America, other countries, some even in Europe, and you can live like a queen, like a king, really good living quality on a lot less money. So that's why I think it's very important to take the money that you have and go find places where it's gonna go a lot farther. That way you're not stressing yourself out, constantly working, and all your money is just going to where you live and your bills. Now, the third reason why I decided to leave America is because I wanted to meet new people. I wanted to open up my mind to new ways of thinking. And it's not always our fault, but because we're in America, we're not really even shown news from other countries or even information about other countries. It's really just our news trying to program us on how to think. Even the schools try to program us on how to think. So a lot of people are closed-minded, they're small thinkers, they're not going to take risks, and they're just living these safe lives that are typically out of fear because of what all the media is telling them. And we just live a certain way. A lot of it's hustle, hustle, hustle. It's about money. It's about how much stuff you can accumulate and just trying to be as rich or as famous as possible. When you go to other countries and experience other cultures, they think differently because they don't have the same media and they're not in the same environment, right? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But what you learn is, some countries are more focused on family or more focused on health or more focused on different things that maybe we're not focused on in America, or more about travel or whatever it is, right? And so as I've traveled, I got to meet a lot of cool people, and I got to learn about a lot of different mindsets that I can all accumulate and put it into my mind. And now I'm not just thinking in one type of way, because I feel like in America, it's like, you're black, you got to think like this, or you're white, you got to think like this, or you're a woman, you got to think like this. When in reality, we should be going out and seeing what mindsets we resonate with the most and mixing them all up. And that's the mindset we can have. So that's, one thing I really, 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 really love about traveling is meeting people from all over the world, all different types of background, all different types of races with different types of thinking and different types of mindsets. Now, the fourth reason why I decided to leave is because the US is a lot more dangerous than people think, especially in America. We think, or we're told, again, we're programmed to believe that everywhere outside of the US is dirt poor. And it's super dangerous. And as soon as you get off of the plane, you're gonna get pickpocketed, you're gonna get stabbed, you're gonna get kidnapped, you're gonna get killed, and your organs are gonna get sold on the black market. When in reality, when you go to a lot of these places, it's a lot safer than you would imagine. Everyone's super nice, everyone is super friendly. And one of the things that you have to realize about the US is we have a lot of these, shootings, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Like, when you come to other countries, they don't have these school shootings or these mass shootings, and a lot of the fighting that's going on amongst people. It's a lot safer in these countries. You know what I mean? I'm here in Budapest, Hungary, and they're like, wow, we've never even seen a gun in person. You know what I mean? But in the States, when I was in Texas, it's like you see people walking around with guns all the time. And if you watch the news, it's always a lot of negativity, a lot of, if you think about a lot of the serial killers, they're coming from America, a lot of the kidnappings, a lot of the rapings, a lot of these just unnecessary violence and all this stuff that's going on. People are very, very entitled. So if somebody doesn't get their barbecue sauce at McDonald's, they're ready to, fight this person or whatever it is, right? And so I think what I was scared to travel is because I thought everywhere in the world was dangerous. But then once I actually got out there, I realized, wow, back home is a lot more dangerous than these places. But again, we're programmed to believe this way. That way we don't go out and experience these countries, and they're programming us to be against each other. But I'm telling you this, most countries that I've been to, super, super safe. Of course, you can have problems if you get into the wrong thing. But the thing I realized about most countries is you can avoid the troubles, right? You don't go don't go down this certain street, don't stay out too late at this place, don't buy drugs, don't do this, don't do that, you'll probably be good. In America, it's like, so what? You don't go to school, you don't go to the grocery, you don't go to the movies. Like, it's just mass shootings. You never know like when it's gonna happen. So I just realized sometimes it gets a little bit out of hand, and you're paying more money. So it's more money, it's more expensive, and it's all this danger. Go explore other places. The world is not as dangerous as they try to program you to believe. So the fifth reason that I decided to leave America and become a full-time digital nomad is because at some point, I think around 2018 or so, I started really getting kind of, I guess, like obsessed with watching these travel vlogs and seeing people that were just traveling to all these different countries, having all these cool experiences. I was like, man, it'd be so cool to do that, but I didn't have the money, I didn't have the business, I had never been overseas or anything like that, and it was just something that I always wanted to do. And fast forward, we ended up going to Paris to get engaged. Then for our honeymoon, we ended up going to Italy, which, by the way, I was actually travel vlogging at that time. So if you go on my channel, you're gonna see a video that I did for every day of our honeymoon, so you can check that out. But I just started watching, and I was like, man, it'd be cool to be able to do that full time. I started really researching, and then when the pandemic hit, some of these countries were having like a digital nomad visa. So we're like, why don't we look into that? We can have different experiences. And as we started researching, we're like, oh, instead of just living in one place, we could just travel place to place to place to place. We were thinking that'd be something cool. And I started thinking, if I don't do this now, I'm always gonna have a reason why I didn't. There's so many friends I know that like, I wish I could travel to this place, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that, and they never do it. And then they get, I don't want to say too old, but they get old enough to where it's not as much of a reality. And so I just said, hey, we have to go for it. And so in 2021, we sold all of our stuff, and then we just got a one-way ticket to Mexico, and we just started that journey. That was February 2021, and we've just been going ever since. And so literally started for me watching vlogs. Lost LeBlanc is a great one. Haley Dasovich, those are the two main ones. Also, Sorel, I believe is her name, Sorel, she's cool. Those are like my top three if you're looking for travel vlogs. And I was watching their content, I was like, this is something that I really want to do. So shout out to those guys for the inspiration. And I was just like, hey, if this is something that I want to do, that I really, really have to go for it. So we just went all in, sold our stuff, got a one-way, and just went for it. So the sixth reason is one that's super, 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 super important. You got to remember this. One thing I started to notice was most of the people that I know were just accepting the environment that they were either born in or just happened to maybe go to school or get a job in, right? It wasn't really like an intentional decision. It was just a place that they ended up in because either that's where their parents moved, their grandparents moved, or that's where they got a job, they went to school. Hopefully you can hear me, there's some trains passing. But basically I noticed that this was just an environment that they were placed in, not something that they really decided. And so they were living these lives that were hard. It was hard for them to get ahead. It was hard for them to succeed. It was hard for them to feel happy. And it wasn't anything they were necessarily doing wrong. It was the environment. I mean, imagine if you took a fish and you placed it on land and it was trying as hard as it could to succeed. It just wouldn't be able to because it's not in the right environment. Same thing with a lion. Lions are powerful animals. Put them in the ocean, they're not going to do that well. And so what I realized is I need to find the environment that works the best for me. The only way to do that is to think what types of things are going to allow you to succeed at the highest level. Only you know this. You have to make a list. So do you need to be in a walkable area? Do you need to have co-working spaces? Do you need to have people of this type of mindset? Do you need to have an ocean? Do you need to have cold weather, hot weather, whatever it is? Come up with your list and then go out in the world and try to seek those places. And so that is really why I decided to become a digital nomad and to travel. Is I was like, I gotta find these places that check off all the things on my list. And so it wasn't just about, sorry again, excuse me for the trains, but it wasn't just about just traveling and having fun. It's about optimizing my life, finding an environment that's gonna allow me to succeed at the highest level, instead of just accepting where my parents came or my grandparents came or I got a job or whatever. So that's what I would challenge you to do as well. Make a list. What are the things you need? Hot weather, cold weather, ocean, city, whatever that looks like for you, right? Come up with that list and then go out in the world, try to seek those places that have those locations. And a good source for you is called Nomad List. They have like a ton of places and they give you all, like, you can filter by all these things. So Nomad List would be cool, but don't just accept the environment that you're in. Go out and seek environments that are going to allow you to succeed and flourish at your highest level. So that brings me to my last reason, which is my goal. My ultimate goal is to plant seeds in as many places of the world as possible. What I mean by that is a lot of the times we use social media to impact people, right? As entrepreneurs, as business owners, or whatever it is that you're doing, you want to impact people and reach more people. And I think that's cool, but I think there's power in being able to connect with people in person, talking face to face, having memories with each other, being able to go places together. And so I didn't want to just only do that in America. I wanted to do that again with people from other cultures, other parts of the world, and eventually build a network that is worldwide. I think sometimes we're thinking too small. There's people in other countries that need your help. Now, you can't help every single person. You can't go to every single country. But for me, it was like, how can I plant as many seeds as possible? I feel like that's what God is calling us to do. I mean, in the Bible, he says, go out and make disciples of all nations. And so literally, that is what I want to do. I want to go into all nations, maybe not every single nation, but multiple nations, and make disciples, make an impact on people. And so for me, it's all about spreading love, spreading positivity, meeting people in person, not just on social media, and seeing how much of an impact I can make on their lives, and then sometimes them on me. And I think, especially as an American, we travel and we just take from cultures rather than let's go into that country, see how much we can give and see how much we can uplift those people. I think if we change our mindset to that, the world would be such a better place, such a more loving place. And so I want to be one of the people that leads us in that direction. So let me know, what are your thoughts on this? Are you an American? How do you feel about living in America? Or if you're a digital nomad, how do you feel about being a digital nomad? Do you have any questions about being a digital nomad? Let me know in the comments. And I know some of you guys are going to ask me, what's maybe my favorite place to live? As you can see, I'm in Budapest, Hungary right now. It's a very, very, very beautiful place, very, very beautiful city. I would say that this is my favorite place so far. It checks all of my boxes, which are safety, fast Wi-Fi, co-working, good weather, amazing people, amazing food, cafes, like pretty much everything, except for, not too noisy, but you do have barking dogs every now and then. This dog is going crazy, but yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. And then follow me on Instagram at dgreen, at DEEGREENE. That way you can see my travels, see the countries that I've been to, and just follow along in real time. So hope this video was super valuable. Give it a thumbs up if so. And then again, let me know in the comments your thoughts on this. I think this is a very important topic. It's something we should discuss more. See you guys on the next one.